the glitz, the glamour, but also the drama.
Always a little drama.
And this year, I think we might have a real underdog story brewing.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more. Love a good upset.
Best Actress category, Fernanda Torres. You familiar with her?
I am. I'm still here.
Oh.
Incredible performance. Lots of buzz. Some are even saying it's giving Olivia Colman the favorite vibes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That total out-of-nowhere win. Could Fernanda pull it off?
Well, she's up against some stiff competition, that's for sure.
Demi Moore, right. Hollywood royalty. Hard to beat that.
Exactly. Demi's got the name recognition, and her film, The Substance, critically acclaimed, deals with some heavy stuff.
Addiction, big pharma.
Yep, that's the one. Got people talking, but...
Me, Common, you can't leave me hanging.
Well, some critics are saying maybe, just maybe, it's a bit too niche for the Academy, you know? Not quite that broad appeal.
Okay, interesting point. I'm Still Here, on the other hand. Critically acclaimed, Andy, a box office hit.
True. Struck a chord with a lot of people. That story about family, resilience. Fernanda, just phenomenal.
Absolutely. She brings so much depth to the role, so vulnerable, so real.
And in interviews, she's just killing it.
Yeah.
Comes across as so genuine, so down to earth. It's almost like
Like she's not even trying.
Haha, in a way, yeah. Which, ironically, can be a very effective Oscar strategy.
Now, hold on. Strategy. I thought this was all about the performance.
Oh, there's definitely strategy involved. The Oscars, they're like this giant popularity contest, right?
Meaning.
You got to be seen, you got to get people talking, interviews, red carpets. Even social media plays a role these days.
Just kind of like running a political campaign, winning over the voters, who in this case are the Academy members.
Exactly. And different actors, different studios, they all have their own approach.
Some go all out, some stay under the radar.
And then there's the whole underdog narrative, which, if played right, can be incredibly powerful.
Okay, let's talk underdog narrative then, because this deep dive, we're basing it on this Medium article, right, by a Brazilian journalist, clearly a huge Fernanda fan.
I've read it. Lots of Olivia Colman comparisons, the whole unexpected win for a brilliant actress in the smaller film angle.
Right. And Fernanda, she was mostly known for comedy before this dramatic role. It really shows her range.
Just like Colman. Remember, nobody in the U.S. really knew who she was before The Favorite.
A British actress suddenly explodes onto the scene. So, could Fernanda do the same?
That is the million-dollar question.
There is a lot of buzz around her right now. But then you've got Demi, the Hollywood powerhouse. And The Substance is a powerful film, tackles important issues.
For sure. But there's another big difference between them that we haven't even touched on.
Oh, lay it on me.
The award shows leading up to the Oscars. BAFTA, SAG.
Right, I was just getting to that.
Demi cleaned up. Best actors of both.
And Fernanda, sadly snubbed. Twice.
Yeah. And those awards, the BAFTAs and the SAG Awards.
They're the British Academy of Film and Television Arts Awards and the Screen Actors Guild Awards, for anyone who doesn't know.
Right. And they're usually pretty good indicators of who might win the Oscar.
So does that mean Demi has it in the bag?
Not so fast. The Oscars, they're a different beast altogether. Larger voting body, much more diverse. They're always surprises.
So what you're saying is, it ain't over till it's over.
Exactly. We've got a real race here. Two incredibly talented actresses, both giving award-worthy performances. But there's more to this story than just what we see on screen.
Ooh, I like where this is going. Tell me more.
Well, let's delve into this underdog narrative around Fernanda. This article we're looking at, it really plays up that angle. And it's interesting to see how that's being used to generate buzz, to drum up support.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What exactly is so compelling about the underdog narrative? And how does that play into Fernanda's chances at the Oscars?
Well, I mean, we all root for the underdog, right? There's just something about seeing someone beat the odds, achieving the unexpected. It gives us hope, like anything's possible.
I feel that, like David versus Goliath, but with red carpets and awards, right? But do Oscar voters really care about that kind of narrative?
Oh, more than you might think. The underdog label, it can really shape how voters see a nominee.
How so?
Well, it can create sympathy or even like a sense of discovery. Makes people want to champion someone who's been overlooked. And for Fernanda, it also taps into this idea of global talent, breaking into Hollywood.
So it's bigger than just Fernanda versus Demi. It's almost like Brazil's on the scene now, ready to make its mark on the film industry.
Exactly. In this article, the journalist really leans into that national pride. Like, hey, look what our country can do. We deserve to be recognized.
Wow, so it's like another layer to this whole race. It's not just about individual talent, it's about representing a whole country, a whole culture.
Exactly. And that can be a huge motivator for voters, especially in the Academy, with members from all over the world. They're always looking to showcase diverse voices and stories.
So if Fernanda wins, it's not just a win for her, it's a win for Brazil, for all those amazing filmmakers and actors working outside of Hollywood.
You got it. And that speaks to the bigger picture, the cultural impact of the Oscars. They're not just giving out awards, they're shaping how we see cinema, celebrating different achievements, promoting a global vision.
Okay, so we've got this whole underdog narrative working in Fernanda's favor. But let's be real, Demi Moore is no slouch. She's a Hollywood legend, she's got that powerhouse performance and the substance, and those BAFTA and SAG wins under her belt. Tough to beat.
Oh, absolutely. And remember, there's that extra element we saw in the article. Demi really seems to want this Oscar.
Yeah, she's going all out, isn't she? All the events, all the interviews, it's like she's pulling out all the stops.
And that can be a bit of a gamble, you know?
How so?
Well, on one hand, it shows dedication, passion, which is great. But it could also come across as a little, well, desperate.
Really? You think so?
Maybe. Sometimes when an actor campaigns too hard, it's like they're trying to force the issue instead of letting their work speak for itself.
Like they're not confident enough in the performance, so they need to go the extra mile to sway voters?
Right. It's about appearing above it all, you know?
Right.
Like, my work speaks for itself. I don't need to beg for votes.
Right.
Which the article contrasted with Fernanda's approach. She's been much more relaxed about the whole thing.
Yeah, she's been super cool and collected in interviews. Almost like she's surprised by all the attention.
Exactly. And that can be really charming, very endearing to voters. It's like, look at her, she's so humble, so authentic, especially in an industry that could be, well, very image obsessed.
So her chill attitude, that could actually work to her advantage.
It might. It plays into that whole underdog persona, you
Yeah.
know? The unexpected contender, just happy to be there. And for voters looking for something different, a fresh face,
Yeah.
it could be a deciding factor.
Okay, I'm loving this. It's like we have two completely different campaigns here. Demi, the seasoned pro, fighting for the win. And Fernanda, just going with the flow, letting her work do the talking.
And it'll be interesting to see how those strategies play out with Oscar voters. Do they prefer the proven track record? Or will they go for the fresh new energy?
Like two different campaign strategies, each with pros and cons. This Oscar race is getting more unpredictable by the minute.
It definitely keeps things exciting. And it just shows how many factors go into who actually wins an Oscar. The performance, yes, but also the narrative, the campaign, even a bit of luck.
So just to recap, we've got Fernanda Torres, the dark horse, generating buzz with I'm Still Here. She's charming, relatable, and represents that exciting new talent breaking into Hollywood. But she's going up against Demi Moore, an icon, with BAFTA and SAG wins already in her pocket.
And both are giving amazing performances in films that are sparking important discussions. So the big question is, who takes home the statue? The veteran finally getting her due, or the underdog making a surprise victory?
That's the million-dollar question. And we won't know until Oscar night, right? But hey, until then, we can speculate, analyze, place our bets.
That's half the fun of the Oscars. It's art, it's industry gossip, it's everyone's guess.
All right, so final question for you based on all this. What do you think? Can Fernanda pull off an upset? Can she actually win?
Okay, well, predicting the Oscars is, let's just say it's not an exact science.
You're killing me. You can't just compare it to, like, reading tea leaves or something. Give me your expert opinion. Spill the beans.
All right. Purely on gut feeling, I actually think Fernanda's got a real shot.
I knew it. I knew you were secretly Team Fernanda all along.
Now, hold on. I'm not saying it's a done deal. It's going to be close, for sure. But she's tapped into something special with this whole underdog thing.
Right. Classic Hollywood. They eat that stuff up. The comeback kid, the unexpected triumph. Oscars are all about a good story.
Totally. And Fernanda's story, it just works. Talented outsider, international star, wins over audiences with pure talent and genuine charm. It's fresh, it's different. I think voters will respond to that.
Plus, you know, we've seen it before. The Olivia Colman effect. Out of nowhere, bam, Oscar gold.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
I think that article we were talking about, it really drew that parallel nicely. It's like planting a seed in voters' minds, right? Hey, remember when this happened? Underdogs can win.
Okay, you've convinced me. Team Fernanda all the way. But let's play devil's advocate for a minute. What about Demi and all that momentum she's got going? BAFTAs, SAG, that's got to count for something.
True, that gives her a definite edge. And the whole Hollywood icon thing, that carries weight. But sometimes, too much momentum can work against you.
Seriously, how's that?
Well, think about it. If everyone assumes you're going to win, that you're the obvious choice, it gets kind of predictable, maybe even a little boring.
Oh, Demi Moore won. Big surprise. Yeah, I see your point.
Right. And sometimes voters, they like to shake things up. They want to feel like they're making a bold statement, recognizing something unique. And that's where Fernanda could really stand out.
So her being the underdog, that's actually a good thing.
Could be her secret weapon. The element of surprise, Voters get to feel like they're ahead of the curve, discovering a rising star.
We knew about Fernanda before she was cool. I like it.
Exactly. That feeling, that sense of discovery, it can definitely sway votes, creates excitement, buzz around a nominee.
Wow, this has been amazing. I mean, we started with performances, then we got into narratives, and now we're practically psychoanalyzing Oscar voters.
It is fascinating. The Oscars are like a window into the whole film industry, Trends, politics, always changing.
All right, so as we wrap up this deep dive, let's leave our listeners with a little something to think about. Do you think Fernanda's underdog status will ultimately help her win? Or will Demi Moore's Hollywood power and awards momentum be too much to overcome? Hit us up with your predictions. Who do you think will take home the Oscar for Best Actress? And tune in on Oscar night to see if you were right. Thanks for joining us for this Oscar deep dive.